Hello and welcome to Mastermind with me, Clive Myrie. In the spotlight tonight are John Castell, a retired civil servant whose specialist subject is the reptiles and amphibians of the British Isles. Lisa Cowan, a PhD student, she'll be answering questions on the Salem Witch Trials. Siddharth Iyer, a trainee accountant, his subject is Indian Premier League cricket. And Rebecca Russell-Peach, a writer whose subject is the 20th century British King, Edward VIII. We've just heard the forbidding, rather scary music. We've had the introductions. Now it's time to get down to business. 2 minutes on their specialist subject and 2.5 minutes on general knowledge will decide tonight's winner, a victory that will book them a place in the semi-finals. The famous black chair may also be a little scary, but thoughts of this beautiful glass bowl and the title of Mastermind Champion will hopefully be enough to spur everyone on. So now, can I ask our first contender to join us, please? Your name?
John Castell.
Your occupation?
Retired civil servant.
And your specialist subjects?
Reptiles and amphibians of the British Isles.
The native and non-native reptiles and amphibians with established wild populations in the British Isles. In 2 minutes, let's go. Although the common lizard is the most prevalent reptile species in Britain, which other lizard, often mistaken for a snake, is estimated to be the one most commonly seen in British gardens?
Slowworm.
Yes, which toad native to Britain and Ireland has been nicknamed the Birkdale nightingale because of its loud and distinctive call, which is amplified by a large external vocal sac?
Natterjack.
Yes. The native barred grass snake was once considered to be a subspecies of the grass snake, Natrix natrix, but was reclassified in 2017 in a separate species with the scientific name Natrix what?
Pass.
In the breeding season, males of which newt species can be distinguished from male smooth newts by the presence of webbed hind feet and a filament at the end of the tail?
Palmate newt.
Yes. What name from the Latin for embrace is given to the distinctive mating position adopted by many frogs and toads, in which the male clasps the female tightly with his front legs?
Ampulux.
No, amplexus. What non-native snake has established a colony in and around the grounds of the Welsh Mountain Zoo in Colwyn Bay, from where an egg-laden female is believed to have escaped in the 1960s?
Esculapian.
Yes, the marsh frog was introduced to Britain in the 1930s when the politician Edward Percy Smith imported 12 of them from which European country?
Hungary.
Yes. What name is given to the fused, rod-shaped bone at the base of the vertebral column of a frog or toad, which is thought to assist it in jumping?
Pass.
The condition ophidiomycosis, which was found in 2015 to be affecting wild reptiles in Britain, is known by what other name, often abbreviated to the letters SFD?
Pass.
Which species of frog, a close relative of the common frog, is native to the island of Jersey, but nowhere else in the British Isles?
Agile frog.
Yes. What word is normally used to describe reptilian scales that have a central ridge, a feature present in many snakes, but absent in the smooth snake?
Keeled.
It is keeled. So, John, you had 3 passes. The condition ophidiomycosis, found in 2015 to be affecting wild reptiles in Britain, snake fundal disease. The name given to the fused rod-shaped bone at the base of the vertebral column of a frog or toad, Eurostyle. And the native barred grass snake, reclassified in 2017, Natrix helvetica. And at the end of that round, John, you've got 7 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. Your name?
Lisa Cowan.
Your occupation?
PhD student.
And your specialist subject?
The Salem Witch Trials.
17th century trials in Salem, Massachusetts, in which more than 200 people were accused of witchcraft, 19 of whom were executed. In 2 minutes, let's go. What was the full name of the niece of the Reverend Samuel Parris, who in January 1692, along with his daughter Betty, began exhibiting symptoms suspected to be the result of witchcraft?
Abigail Williams.
Yes, the girls accused 3 women of witchcraft, and because of the level of public interest, magistrates questioned them in which building?
The meeting house.
Yes. What was the name of the newly appointed governor of Massachusetts who convened the so-called Court of Oyer and Terminer to investigate the witchcraft cases?
William Phipps.
Yes, supposed proof of a person's involvement with witchcraft based on dreams or visions was known by what two-word name?
Spectral evidence.
Yes, William Milbourne sent 2 petitions to Governor Phipps protesting against the use of spectral evidence in the trials and was required by Phipps to pay what sum of money as a guarantee against further complaints?
£200.
Yes, in the village of Salisbury, 117 residents wrote a statement to the court in support of which woman who was convicted of witchcraft and sentenced to death but escaped from prison?
Mary Bradbury.
Yes, the largest number of people accused of witchcraft from outside Salem were from which town to its west, after 2 people were taken there to identify the witches responsible for the illness of Elizabeth Ballard.
Andover.
Yes, what was the name of the woman who was the first to be accused to die on the 10th of May, 1692, after spending 9 weeks in a Boston prison while awaiting trial?
Sarah Osborne.
Yes, the carrier children of Andover accused a number of people, including their mother, of witchcraft, and one of them, Richard, said that he'd been satanically baptized at witch waterfalls.
Newbury.
Yes, what was the name of Mary Sibley's niece who accused more people of witchcraft than anyone else, resulting in 16 executions, 1 person dying in jail, and Giles Corey's pressing to death?
Anne Putnam Jr.
No, Mary Walcott. In her confession, the Paris family slave, Tituba, claimed that she signed the Devil's Book and saw how many other people's names in the form of marks.
4.
No, it's 9. In response to the trials in 1692, the law in Massachusetts was changed to limit the penalty for most first convictions for witchcraft to imprisonment. And what form of punishment?
The pillory.
Yes, pillory. Elisa, you had no passes at the end of that round. You've got 10 points. And our next contender, please. Your name,
Siddharth Iyer.
your occupation,
Trainee accountant.
and your specialist subject.
Indian Premier League cricket.
Yes, the annual 20-over men's cricket league known as the IPL, which was launched in 2008. In 2 minutes, let's go. How many teams participated in the first season of the IPL?
8.
Yes. Which stadium in Bengaluru, the home ground of Royal Challengers Bangalore, hosted the opening match of the first IPL season?
Chidambaram Stadium.
No, the Chinnaswamy Stadium. In the 2010 IPL season, which Indian left-arm spin bowler won the Purple Cap, which is awarded to the player who takes the most wickets in the tournament?
Pragyan Oja.
Yes. Which former Australia wicketkeeper who captained Deccan Chargers to the IPL trophy in 2009 said the experience of being auctioned left him feeling like a cow?
Adam Gilchrist.
Yes, in 2011, Royal Challengers Bangalore signed the West Indian batsman Chris Gale as an injury replacement for which fast bowler?
Wayne Parnell.
No, Dirk Nannes. Following controversy over alleged conflicts of interest in 2015, what large manufacturing company transferred its shares in Chennai Super Kings to a subsidiary company?
Indy Cements.
Yes, which Indian batsman set a long-standing record for the most runs in a single IPL season when he scored 973 runs in 2016?
Virat Kohli.
Yes, what surname is shared by the cousins Deepak, a swing bowler who made his IPL debut in 2016, and Rahul, a leg spinner who was part of the Mumbai Indians title-winning sides in 2019 and 2020?
Chahar.
Yes, which Bollywood film star named in 2008 as one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people in the world purchased the Kolkata Knight Riders franchise in 2023, together with the actress Juhi Chawla and the businessman Jay Mehta?
Shah Rukh Khan.
Yes, in 2017, Ben Stokes won the tournament's Most Valuable Player award in his debut season after representing which team?
Rising Pune Supergiants.
Yes, which batsman was the top scorer with 52 not out when the Mumbai Indians beat the Royal Challengers Bangalore in the semi-finals of the tournament in 2010?
Rohit Sharma.
No, Saurabh Tiwari. Which English all-rounder became the most expensive player in IPL history when Punjab Kings bought him for the equivalent of £1.85 million ahead of the 2023 IPL season?
Sam Curran.
It was Sam Curran. Siddharth, you had no passes at the end of that round. You've got 9 points. And our final contender, please. Your name,
Rebecca Russell Peach,
your occupation,
writer,
and your specialist subject.
Edward VIII.
The controversial king who chose his love for the American divorcee Wallis Simpson over the British crown. In 2 minutes, let's go. In July 1894, the prince was christened as Edward rather than what other name preferred by Queen Victoria, which instead became his second name.
Albert.
Yes, in August 1914, Edward was given a commission in which regiment of the British Army, despite the fact that he was only 5 feet 7 inches tall and the regulation height was 6 feet.
Grenadier Guards.
Yes, while in Rome in 1918, Edward controversially visited which pope, whom he said was intelligent and well-informed and talks fairly decent French.
Benedict XV.
Yes, what was the name of the woman with whom Edward was in a relationship for almost 16 years, who was once described by the writer Cynthia Asquith as a pretty little fluff?
Frida Dudley Ward.
Yes, which former UK Prime Minister complained that Edward had sent Wallis Simpson to Ascot in a royal carriage, commenting that it would not have mattered had she been a widow, as people in this country don't mind fornication, but they loathe adultery.
Stanley Baldwin.
No, Ramsay MacDonald. What was the name of Edward's lover who claimed to have introduced him to Wallis Simpson in 1931 and who, when she temporarily left England in January 1934, asked Wallis to look after him for her?
Thelma Finesse.
Yes. On the 11th of December 1936, who introduced Edward's live radio broadcast to the nation, which announced his abdication with the words, "This is Windsor Castle, His Royal Highness Prince Edward"?
Lord Reith.
Yes. What's the title of the book by Geoffrey Dennis, published in 1937, over which Edward sued for libel because the writer had referred to Mrs. Simpson as his mistress?
Coronation Commentary.
Yes. What was the name of Edward's assistant private secretary who resigned from his employment after 8 years, citing the prince's wayward lifestyle?
Tommy Lascelles.
Yes. At which country house near Vienna that belonged to Baron Eugène de Rothschild did Edward stay for 3 months immediately after his abdication?
Schlosswassen.
No, Schloss Enzesfeld. Which royal equerry was the best man at Edward's wedding in 1937, but was deemed to be a bad influence on him by Admiral Halsey, who described him as a wild, wild Irishman?
Fruity Metcalf.
It was Fruity Metcalf. At the end of that round, Rebecca, no passes. You've got 9 points.
Thank you.
And at the end of the specialist subjects round, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 7 points, it's John. In joint 2nd place with 9 points each, Siddharth and Rebecca. And in 1st place with 10 points, it's Lisa. So now, the general knowledge round. And if there's a tie at the end, then the number of passes is taken into account, and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, it's a tie break. So let's ask John to join us again, please. John, you start with 7 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. Cha is an informal word for what hot drink?
Tea.
Yes. What term from the French word for feather is used to refer collectively to a bird's feathers?
Plumage.
Yes. The athlete Kadena Cox, the actor John Partridge, and the presenter Alexis Conran have all won the celebrity version of which television cookery competition?
MasterChef.
Yes. What's the full name of the former UK Foreign Secretary who, in 2013, was appointed as the president of the International Rescue Committee, a humanitarian organisation based in New York?
Smith.
No, David Miliband. Which American singer had her first UK #1 single in 2008 with I Kissed a Girl?
Katy Perry.
Yes, amino acids, often called the building blocks of proteins, all contain carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, and which other chemical element?
Helium.
No, nitrogen. Which German artist who died in 1945 has museums in Cologne, Berlin, and Moritzburg dedicated to her work, depicting the effects of poverty, hunger, and war on the working class?
Pass.
The Texan firefighter Paul Adair, famous for extinguishing fires on oil wells, was commonly referred to by what nickname, also a colour?
Red.
Yes. What feline-sounding name is given to the popular vintage style of spectacles or sunglasses with an outer frame that sweeps up towards the temples?
Cats.
More?
Cat specs.
No. Cat Eye. Which of the Mr. Men characters created by Roger Hargreaves does not have a black outline and is depicted as just a pink scribble?
Mr. Jelly?
No, Mr. Messi, when he won the 2021 Masters tournament, the golfer Hideki Matsuyama became the first male player from which Asian country to win a major?
Japan?
Yes, which actor won his first Oscar for playing a morbidly obese English teacher named Charlie in the 2022 film The Whale?
Brendan Foster? No.
No, Brendan Fraser.
Oh.
Which region of northern Italy has a name derived from the Latin for at the foot of a mountain?
Piedmont?
Yes, the seaside resort of Portobello is an eastern suburb of which Scottish city?
Edinburgh?
Yes, in a right-angled triangle, what name is given to the trigonometric function that gives the ratio of the length of the side adjacent to an acute angle to the length of the hypotenuse?
Ratio?
No, it's the cosine. John, you had just the one past the German artist who died in 1945 with museums in Cologne, Berlin and Moritzburg, Keter Kollwitz. And at the end of that round, John, you've got a total of 15 points.
Thank you.
And next up, let's have Siddharth. Siddharth, you start with 9 points. The score to beat as it stands, 15 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. The famous American outlaw whose pseudonyms included William H. Bonney is most commonly known as Billy the what?
Kid.
Yes, in the standard UK version of the board game Scrabble, the letter tiles R, S and T each have a face value of how many points?
1.
Yes, the 2003 film subtitled Rise of the Machines is the third installment of what science fiction film franchise?
Transformers.
No, Terminator, the name of which Shakespearean title character is commonly used to refer to an amorous young man.
Romeo.
Yes, which Arsenal and England footballer turned television pundit was awarded an OBE in the 2023 King's Birthday Honours list?
Ian Wright.
Yes, Judy Garland won Grammys, including Album of the Year for a 2-disc recording of a concert she performed in April 1961 at which New York venue?
Madison Square Garden.
No, Carnegie Hall. In physics, the speed of a wave is calculated by multiplying its wavelength by what other property?
Amplitude.
No, frequency. What 2016 stage musical based on a film about a cynical television weather forecaster who becomes trapped in a time loop was revived at London's Old Vic Theatre in 2023?
Network.
No, Groundhog Day. What name related to the German word for book is given to the native British tree that produces edible nuts known as masts?
Acorn.
No, Beach. The author, Aravind Adiga, won the 2008 Booker Prize for what novel?
Life of Pi.
No, The White Tiger. The flag of Luxembourg is almost identical to that of which nearby country to its north?
The Netherlands.
Yes, a shade of green in a story often associated with the flowers of Robin Hood is named after which cathedral city in eastern England?
Nottingham.
No, Lincoln. On what television quiz show that began in 2012 with the presenter Ben Shepherd do contestants answer questions to win counters for an arcade-style coin-pushing machine?
Tipping Point.
Yes. During their military careers, Prince Harry and Prince William were known by what surname?
Windsor.
No, Wales. What 1853 opera by Verdi features musical pieces called the Anvil Chorus and the Soldiers Chorus?
The Magic Flute.
No, Il Trovatore. In 2020, Dame Barbara Woodward was appointed as the UK's permanent representative to what intergovernmental organisation?
Charity.
No, the United Nations. Which Russian scientist was awarded the 1904 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for his work on the process of digestion?
Mendeleev.
No, Ivan Pavlov, the amorous character Pepe Le Pew, who appeared in cartoons, I've started, so I'll finish, who appeared in cartoons directed by the American animator Chuck Jones, was what type of creature?
Roadrunner.
No, a skunk. Siddharth, no passes, and you end that round with 15 points. Next up is Rebecca. Rebecca, you start with 9 points. The score to beat as it stands is 15 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. In a common expression, someone who is calm and composed is said to be as cool as what salad ingredient?
Cucumber.
Yes, which member of the Beatles had a solo UK #1 single in 1971 and again posthumously in 2002 with My Sweet Lord?
George Harrison.
Yes, which large island in the Irish Sea is known in its native language as Elan Vannin?
Anglesey.
No, Isle of Man. What medical term derived from a Greek word meaning to insert refers to an obstruction in an artery such as a blood clot or an air bubble?
Embolism.
Yes, in 1962, which astronaut and future senator became the first American to orbit the Earth?
Shepherd.
No, John Glenn. In the name of a veterinary charity founded in 1917, the letters PDSA stand for the People's Dispensary for Sick What?
Animals.
Yes, the 1965 book, Yes, I Can, and Why Me, published in 1989, are volumes of autobiography by which member of the so-called Rat Pack group of entertainers?
Frank Sinatra.
No, Sammy Davis Jr. The common name of which seabird, a member of the auk family, is a diminutive of the French form of the name William?
Bill.
No, Guillemot. The major gods in Greek mythology, usually said to be 12 in number, including Zeus, Poseidon, and Apollo, are known collectively by what name derived from that of their place of abode?
Olympians.
Yes, what name is given to a line on a weather map that passes through points that have the same mean temperature?
Temperature line.
No, isotherm. What adjective meaning worthy of respect or reverence is commonly applied as an epithet to the Anglo-Saxon scholar St. Bede?
The wise.
No, venerable. What percentage is the equivalent of the fraction 2/5?
40.
Yes. The title characters in the television comedy series Grace and Frankie, first shown in 2015, are played by Lily Tomlin and which other actress?
Grace Shields.
No, Jane Fonda. Which Australian city and state capital stands at the head of Port Phillip Bay at the mouth of the Yarra River?
Canberra.
No, Melbourne. In September 2022, the presenters Dean McCulloch and Vicky Hawksworth succeeded Scott Mills and Chris Stark in the afternoon slot on which BBC radio station?
2.
No, Radio 1. Which Canadian-born actor starred in the 1990s films? I've started, so I'll finish. In the 1990s films Dumb and Dumber, The Cable Guy, and Liar, Liar?
Jim Carrey.
It is Jim Carrey. So, Rebecca, you had no passes, and you've got 16 points.
Thank you.
And finally, let's have Lisa again, please. So, Lisa, you start with 10 points. The score to beat to get through to the semi-finals is Rebecca's 16 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. What three-letter word can follow bucket, top, and cowboy to make the names of 3 types of headwear?
Hat.
Yes, which terrestrial television channel was launched in the UK on the 30th of March, 1997?
Channel 5.
Yes, in April 2023, a horse named Korak Rambler, ridden by Derek Fox and trained by Lucinda Russell, won which famous race?
The Grand National.
Yes, the second and third American presidents both died on the same day, the 4th of July, 1826. One was John Adams. Who was the other?
Jefferson.
Yes, which industrial city in eastern France stands at the confluence of the rivers Rhône and Saône?
Nantes.
No, Lyon. The 2022 film Blonde, based on a best-selling book by Joyce Carol Oates, is a fictionalized account of the life of which Hollywood film star?
Marilyn Monroe.
Yes, which London art gallery was opened in 2000 in the building of the former Bankside Power Station on the south bank of the Thames?
The Tate. Modern.
Yes. What name from a Latin word meaning 3-footed is given to a metal stand for hot dishes that's used to protect the surface of a table?
Tripod.
No, Trivet. What 1927 novel by Virginia Woolf is about the visits to the Isle of Skye by various members of the Ramsay family?
Mrs. Dalloway.
No, to the lighthouse. The first description of what device used in surveying to measure angles was written by the 16th century English mathematician Leonard Digges.
Protractor.
No, Theodolite. The official mascot of the charity Children in Need is a bear with what name?
Pudsey?
Yes, the country music star June Carter recorded the Grammy Award-winning song Jackson with which other singer in 1967, the year before she married him?
Johnny Cash?
Yes, what alpine flowering plant with woolly white bracts has a name comprising German words for noble and white?
Edelweiss?
Yes, the Battle of Navarino, 1418-27, was a decisive naval engagement in the campaign for independence by which European country?
Monaco?
No, Greece. What five-letter name, derived from a colloquial term for strong beer, is given to a dark, bitter and creamy variety of beer similar to porter?
Stout?
Yes. Bishop Thorpe Palace in the north of England is the official residence of the holder of which senior religious post in the Anglican Church?
The Archbishop of Canterbury?
No, Archbishop of York. The chalumeau, sometimes called the mock trumpet, was a forerunner of which woodwind instrument used widely in both classical music and jazz?
The clarinet?
Yes. And no passes, you've done it. 21 points.
Thank you.
So let's have a look at the final scores. In joint third place with 15 points each, John and Siddharth. In second place with 16 points, it's Rebecca. But in first place with 21 points, it's Lisa, which means she goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to her. If you'd like to be a contender in the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us at Mastermind Quiz. Join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
I'm so excited. When Clive said that I'd won, I couldn't believe it. I'm over the moon.
No passes, you've done it. 21 points.
I chose the Salem Witch Trials as my specialist subject because I do legal history and I had just happened to see the Crucible the week that I filled in the form, so it was fresh in my mind. Sarah Osborne?
Yes.
Newbury?
Yes.
The Pillory?
Yes. Lisa, you had no passes at the end of that round. You've got 10 points.
It was a lot of studying, lots of note-taking and memorising, and I can't wait to tell my family and friends that I won my Mastermind heat. I think they had more faith in me than I did, so maybe they won't be surprised, but I am.
First place with 21 points, it's Lisa, which means she goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to her.
I applied for Mastermind because it's prestigious and fun, and I'm really, really looking forward to the semi-finals.